And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Unscripted and Unchained RPG review. This is a special episode. It is the 8th anniversary of my time on YouTube, 7th anniversary for Unscripted and Unchained RPG review, my channel. And I'm really excited to basically do an overview of 2024, which has been a phenomenal year for both me as a gamer and for the channel as well. And I also want to talk a little bit about some of the people that I have met over the course of this past year, as well as the conventions that I had attended, the conventions that I will continue to attend, and a new one coming up for next year as well. And then I will talk about my plans for 2025. So, for everyone that's out there that will be joining, hello, everyone. Welcome. And let me get right to the chats. And here we have. Here we have Mercurius giving a gifted membership. Welcome, Mercurius. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. I hope your ear gets better. and and he, of course, gave a free membership to Teresa Tatum. So, Teresa, congratulations. Now, that membership, even though it was freely given to you, still allows you to go into my Discord, and a Discord channel is listed on. Discord channel is listed at the description of every single video on my channel. And you'll be able to go in there and you will be given a tag, a membership tag, that will allow you to go into special access areas of my Discord channel. It will also give you an opportunity to jump in on any of my games that I'm running, and that could be one shots or my longer term campaigns, if I do have room in those. Currently, I don't have room in my long term, but I'm always looking to start up new campaigns, and so that's something that I'll be looking to do over the next, really starting in January is where I was planning on doing that. So let's see who else is here. O'Neill, hey, how's it going? And good to see you here as well. And so let's start talking a little bit about 2024 for both my channel and myself as a gamer. So let's see, I'm getting these weird alerts. For some reason, my computer actually crashed like a minute before I was supposed to go live. So I was like, oh, geez, let me see what the heck is going on here. And hopefully we don't have another problem like that. Hey, Ducato, how's it going? So, speaking of someone who I met in person for the first time, I met Ducato at ShireCon back in September, October. I always forget which actual date it was. I think it moved from September to October. So back in October, I met Ducato in person for the first time. It was a really great time that we had. He played in my game. He played in my Shadow Dark game, and then we played together in Jeffrey Talanian's Hyperborea. So that was a really great experience as well. So, and Jeffrey Talanian is another individual that I met for the first time over the 2024 year. And there's nothing like playing in a game run by, being game mastered by the creator of the game system. So that was a really, incredible treat. Staying on that same line, Back last January, I met for the first time in person Frank Metzner. Played in his game, spoke to him for hours, really, literally an hour or so before his first seminar, and then during the seminar, and then during the actual game session. And it was really the highlight of my last year's convention, at page one. So that was the Philadelphia Area Game Expo. Unfortunately, I had to cut that convention short because of a snowstorm rolling on in. But meeting Frank in person for the first time, and having as much interaction as we had over that day and a half was just phenomenal. So well worth well worth the trip out to Philadelphia for me. I also played in Alan Hammock's Ghost Tower of Inverness at Rising Phoenix, and once again, when you have the opportunity to play in a game session where the author of the adventure module is running it, again, it's another great experience to have. And I strongly recommend that anytime you find that there's an opportunity to play in either the adventure writers game or in the game systems author, certainly jump on that opportunity. It's going to be a great opportunity for you. Let me get that invite out there really quick. So anyone is welcome to jump on in and chat a bit. I can have up to as many as like between 6 and 10, I believe, people in at one time. But if you want to just stay on the chat, that's fine as well. But there is the invite. So if anyone wants to come in backstage, you're welcome to do so. So the rest of my 2024. So during 2024, I ran. I completed and started a whole new Castles and Crusades campaign. I'm also playing in a Castles and Crusades campaign. In 2024, I ran Conan 2D20, Blade Runner, Fallout RPG, Castles and Crusades, Shadow Dark, Weird Frontiers, which is a DCC-based game system, as well as probably one or two others. I mean, it was really a great year for me as a game master running different game systems, and I'm looking to run even more next year as well. So that's another thing that I really did push myself to do this past year is to continue expanding my experience as a convention game master, and that's a really important, I think, skill set for a game master to learn to develop. It's a totally different setting and a different experience as a convention game master, as opposed to whether you're running games online or you're in person in your home or at a local store or library or something along those lines. So it's something that I think is important, and it really goes back to Gary Gygax's book talking about game mastery and mastering game mastering, and he spoke to the convention experience as being in his mind it was almost at the pinnacle of being a game master. The other thing that he attributed to being at the pinnacle of game mastery is actually publishing works, which is not necessary. I don't agree with him there, but I have published some small little things here and there on Drive Through RPG, but it's certainly not been my focus. My focus has been this channel, and so this past year has seen a great deal of growth on the channel. The channel has hit many different milestones along the way, and I'll be talking a little bit about those as well. So Off Grid, hey, how's it going? So Off Grid is one of my players. He's currently playing in my Fallout game, and he's looking to play in my Basic Fantasy campaign that I'm looking to start up very, very soon. Um, sometime in January as well. Probably after the convention. So the convention is January 16th through the 19th, and then I'll be able to focus on starting up that campaign probably the week thereafter or so. Um, well, great. You can listen and you can catch it later too, Off Grid. So it's nice to have you here. Never mind, no subtitles. Oh, that's weird. Um, yeah, I don't know if live streams do that. What I can do is I can go in and double check and see. So let me do that and see if I can do that. Set that up right now. Um, thank you for pointing that out because I wouldn't have thought to double check that. Actually, it should be. Let me see if I didn't do it. Um, I'm going to set it up. No, what is that? I want to go back, stream settings, and close captioned. It's not letting me do it. I don't think it's letting me do it. Um, yeah, not at the moment. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know if it's because I'm already in the stream that I can't change that, um, or it just doesn't do that for live streams, which might be a possibility as well. So yeah, you can definitely catch it later though. So let's see. Let's do some talking about the channel and what it's done over the past year. So looking over and let's make sure. So in the past 365 days, my channel has uh, gained 144,000 views, which was 18% more than the last time. The watch time is a little bit lower. And I don't know how that analytic actually works, what it actually takes from doing that. Because I have done a lot more shorts this past year. So that might be it, that the length of the videos being shorter leads to lower short time, viewing times. Subscribers, plus 609 subscribers over the last 365 days. So that's about the same as previously. Um, I mean, the revenue is the revenue. I'm not going to get into too much detail there. Um, it was enough to cover almost two of my conventions. So that's been doing well, and that's ever growing with the more and more subscribers and the more interaction and everything that will come along as well. So it's not quite break even point yet, but it's doing fine, and I'm perfectly okay with that as it's going along. As a retiree, a pensioner, I don't have that much of a need for this to be some kind of a job generator kind of thing for me. But it's doing well. It's doing well enough, and that's never been my focus anyway. So speaking about some other things that I gained during this past year, my bookshelf behind me, the second one of those, I got as a Christmas, Christmas present last Christmas. So within the last year. So that has really opened up my, not just my display, because I was able to take a lot of stuff out of my closet and put it on the shelf now, but because it is on my shelf now, I can certainly, pull more stuff out there. I've been doing a shelf tour and going through and talking about virtually every single item on my shelf thus far. I'm still working on my AD&D second edition shelf, which I still have a couple more of those splat books to go through. And then I'll talk about the little figures that you see on that back, on that shelf right there. Um, and then I get into the next shelf that will be shelf number 9, and that's a lot of OSR and small pamphlet sized RPGs. And then shelf 10 would be my AD&D first edition that you see there, along with my white box and such. I'll talk about that. And then 11, you can probably see that I have Hyperborea, followed by Solomon Kane for Savage Worlds, and then some other items on there as well. Then I go up to the first of my 2 Castles and Crusades shelves, along with some more stuff on Troll Lord games that you see over there. But beneath that, I might Call of Cthulhu and whatnot. I have moved my box sets, my TSR box sets, down to the bottom shelf down there. So I was able to get them all on one shelf. I had to expand that a little bit. So it's been a lot of just expanding my collection and expanding the content for the channel over this past year as well. So it's been a very, very productive year. Hey, Telewit, good to see you, and thank you. Once again, if anyone wants to jump in, I will throw that in there in the chat. So you're welcome to join in. So yes, and Happy New Year to you as well. So yeah, it was never a plan or anything like that. That it would be December 30th would be the anniversary date for my channel. It was my first year on YouTube. I had a channel. It was just called Bloodworth's RPG. Um, channel. I believe that's what it was originally, and I had about 36 subscribers and probably about 15 to 20 videos in that first year, if I'm accurately remembering. It was only in the second year that I decided I was going to really dedicate more time to doing videos on the channel, and that's when I coined Unscripted and Unchained RPG review. And so that was something where I came out and I was like, you know what? I was playing a lot more video games at the time, computer RPGs at the time, and anytime I played a new game, I would experience it for the first time, and I was like, that would be a really cool thing to do, is to actually share that experience, share that first time experience, seeing a game, and seeing how that whether it worked or it didn't work, and I would then basically say, hey, this worked really well, and that's why the unscripted was I was doing it live, and I still do my videos live. Like, this is live right now. I didn't come up with a script or anything like that. I come right off the cuff, and as it goes, it goes. And when I got to doing video games like that, I started saying, well, I'm going to give an unscripted view of what you're seeing and an unchained analysis of it. In other words, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, or if I come across something that I don't like, I'm going to say so. And if I come across something I really love, then I might actually recommend that you check it out. I never tell people how to spend their money, but I will tell them, like, when I do a Kickstarter, just know that any Kickstarter that I am going to show on this channel is something that I backed myself. So am I kind of manufacturing what I show on my channel in that case? Maybe to a lesser extent, yes, but I'm not. I'm obviously not going to tell you about a game system that I don't actually own myself, or that I haven't actually spent some time running it either. Even when I do have a PDF of something, I like to get the physical copy in my hand in order to do a more honest review of it. Um, Now, on two separate occasions, I've gotten review copies of something, and but those are very, very rare. Like I said, only on out of the 15 or nearly 1,500 videos, I've only gotten two actual review copies of anything. So I really appreciate those, and I will I do cover them, but that doesn't guarantee a positive review. Let's say just because I got a free copy of something. And like I said, it's so rare for me to get those that, and I'm okay with that. I like buying my own stuff. And that way I feel freer to talk about it. So that's kind of the basis for this channel has always been to be unscripted and unchained about the way that I my review my channel and review things on my channel. Hey, Shadow and Sun, good to see you. So Shadow and Sun is another one of my players. He was in my AD&D First Edition campaign. He played with me for a little bit over a year, I believe, in that campaign. And then he, of course, followed me over into my two Castles and Crusades campaigns. One was kind of short and it kind of petered out, but, and then our second one is actually into its 45th or 46th week. We've taken these last 2 weeks off, but I'm looking forward to getting us right back into it again in in about a week or so. Go right back to it. I don't know if we're scheduled for. We're obviously not scheduled for tomorrow, but I think we are scheduled to go back into it on January 7th. So we will be back to Castles and Crusades January 7th. I already know an adventure, at least coming up, that they are going to get involved with. And I'm just waiting for the physical copy of it to arrive, but I already have it on PDF. And so I can actually start running that. Now, that campaign is set in Gary Gygax's Eastmark, which is part of his Igsburg campaign setting, and they will be running into either the Hermit or something else, some other adventure of ultimately ending up doing the Castle Zajic mega dungeon that they'll get involved with, and I'll see how that impacts the campaign as well, and see how to run, because that'll be my first time running a mega dungeon, and I'm already kind of on the fence of how to run a mega dungeon. And that's something that I was going to start doing videos talking about campaigns and having discussions about the different types of campaign types and styles, and what do players actually prefer or whatnot. So I'm certainly looking to do a video sometime after this holiday 2 days, and get into that kind of a discussion to see what do most of the people that I run in circles with, most that how they enjoy either mega dungeons or hex crawl campaigns, or do they like campaigns that are very open world, or do they like campaigns that have either a very thin line thread of continuity running through it, or do they like something that's much more railroady or whatnot, like running the 15 modules of Dragonlance, if someone was looking for that kind of an experience as well. So there's many different types of campaigns, and that is another thing that I'm going to look to dabble with, is various different ways of running campaigns in 2025. So looking forward, 2025 is going to be a really good experience. Um, so let's see who else is here. Um, Mobius, hey, how's it going? Shadow, so you love Mega Dungeons. So yeah, I'm definitely going to talk to you and ask you, what is your experience with them, and you go in, come back out again, because I guess The Caves of Chaos is kind of a mega dungeon, um, in a sense that it's really designed for you to go into it, then come back out again, and then go back into it again. And that's pretty much how we did it in that AD&D campaign before you actually got there. Um, so that's kind of how I did it. And we spent, I believe, something like 16 weeks. So 16 game sessions, going through, um, going through the Caves of Chaos. So it was a nice, long, drawn out kind of experience that they had. And it did lead to a lot of other, um, whether it be side quests or the main quest. It really developed the main quest for the entire campaign that early on. So through levels 1 through 4 or so, when they got through that. Thank you, Mobius. And let's see, getting ready to run a Monster of the Mega Dungeon, aka Dragon Mountain. All right. What game system is that? That would be interesting to check out. So anyway, if anyone wants to jump in, here's the address again. Thank you, Q Cooper. Q Cooper is another one of my players, and good to see you here. And I love Mega Dungeons. Just picked up the 110 page, 1100 page Halls of Ardenn Ardenn Vol. I'm hoping to run it in the next year. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, so it's 2E. Thank you. Thank you. And I just ran my favorite Mega Dungeon, Caliban. All right, cool. So 2E. So yeah, and I've been spending some time covering 2E to the extent of just going over my shelf. But I will spend some time with the rule system of 2E. I know someone recently put on my channel a request that I actually go through first edition and talk about how I run first edition. So kind of like a tutorial from my perspective, of course, of how I run AD&D first edition. So that'll be a very interesting deep dive for myself as well. So that's really something that I'm looking forward to doing as far as video content is concerned coming up forward. I'm still awaiting for Acts 2 to arrive. I had a little bit of a glitch, um, so I had to resubmit my payment method. So, but now that should be on track to arrive sometime soon. I'm certainly looking to run Acts 2 as well, sometime during 2025. I'll see how I'm going to fit that in. Um, Once again, thank you, Mercurius, and Dave S., you just received a free membership from Mercurius. Now, my next live stream in January of 2025 is going to have some free memberships from me as well. I can give away 10 per month, and so those will be coming out there. Dragon Mountain is a huge, an old, huge box set. Yeah, that'll be interesting to take a look at. And you said that's for second edition as well, I guess. Yeah, so I'll definitely check that. Second edition for me was not something that I played with back in the time, and the I've only played second edition at conventions recently within the last couple of years. So I've sat in and played second edition a couple of times, and then I did run a couple of sessions, or adventures with for Golden Glory, which is the only, from what I understand, it's the only second edition retro clone that is out there. So, and that's actually on my bookshelf number 8. That I'll eventually get to those as well and talk about those, in some detail also. So I have a incomplete second copy of Dragon Mountain. All right, cool. So, so looking to next year. Yep. I'll see you in a couple. Um, Talking about next year. So next year, I'm adding a new convention to my series of conventions. I am going to page two this January 16th to the 19th. That will be followed in April with Rising Phoenix. Actually, I can actually bring up this graphic and talk about it. So let me share that screen there. So once you get here, um, so page two, they put these in a weird order. I don't know why they do this. Well, I don't have AutoCon 4 yet up here, although that is one that I am attending. I got to check to see if they've actually put up the posting, or I have to buy the badge first. But so page two, that is coming up this January. They have January 17th, but the 16th is for special guests, which I am one of them, which is just blows my mind. And then it's from the 17th through the 19th. So so I will be attending that. Then I will be going to Rising Phoenix, which is going to be conventions I am helping with, because that's how they call it. Once you're signed up to be a game master, they put you down here until the actual badge is released. So Rising Phoenix, which will be on 4/24 of 2025, I will be running a couple game sessions there. Then I will be at I will be at the Central New York RPG convention. The first time this convention is being run, it's in Utica, New York. So that's on 6/14/2025. Then AutoCon is going to be on 6/8. I believe it's still the same weekend, just a different calendar year, obviously. So that will be in there once I sign up for it. And then ShireCon 2025, which is not up here yet, but that's certainly one that I will be attending. So I have increased my I have increased the number of conventions I attend by an additional one, and so I will be attending 5 conventions over the 2025 year. And at each of those conventions, I run at least 3 game sessions, and but not more than 4, because I like to experience other people's games as well. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to doing, because that's the way that I get to expand the number of games that I'm exposed to, for the first time, in many cases as well, or at least it's an opportunity to play some games that I haven't played before, or I haven't run before. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Um, I'd love to find somebody running Blade Runner, so that I can play in Blade Runner, because I really love running that system, and it would be a lot of fun to actually play in it as well. So let's move on down. Let's see. Well, nobody new, and just some chat going on in there. So if anyone is going to conventions, like if you're going to ShireCon, not ShireCon, I mean, if you're going to page two, please put in the comments section here that you're attending page, because I'd love to, touch bases with you and meet you in person. I will be there from Thursday through Sunday. Um, my actual page two convention, let's see, my actual page two convention calendar. Let's see if I do my schedule, and I can actually share this with you. Um, so let me do that share here. So I am running the Slumbering City Shadow Dark Thursday night at 8 p.m. From 8 until eventually until it closes down. So that's in the hotel itself. So, and there'll be like a special guests meet and greet and everything like that earlier on. So if you're a gold badge member, you're going to be able to come in and attend this game. This game is not only just sold out, but it actually has something like 9 on the waiting list, which is crazy. Then I am playing on Friday morning at 9 a.m. I am playing in an Oriental Adventures game run by Zeb Cook. So definitely jumped on that. That's going to be a phenomenal experience in that. Then I am running a Shadow Dark game, A War in the Valley. These two adventures are written by Tom Wilson. Awesome adventures. War in the Valley, I ran Shadow Dark at my own home campaign. This was the last adventure that our player group was actually going through at the time. Then I'm going to play in The Oath. The Oath is let me just click on this. So this is a Castles and Crusades game that I am playing in. So good opportunity to play in that. And the reason why I think I chose this one is I'll be playing with Michael Shea is a fellow player in there. So that is the Lazy DM. And then on Saturday morning at 8 a.m., I am playing in a Castles and Crusades game run by Trolord's own Chuck Cumbo. And then I go to Zoo Mafia, a one-shot, and this is run by Nerdarchist Ted. Nerdarchist Ted. There's still some room for this too. 2 more seats available for that. If anyone wants to, jump in on that, if you're going to be there, there's some opening in there. I should go back to his channel a little bit and just check out Nerdarchy. It's been a while since I've watched it. Then I have 2 seminars. One is from Trollord Games, and then the other is Frank Metzner. And then Shards of Ymir is my own adventure that I wrote for both Conan 2D20, and then I converted it to Shadow Dark. This adventure worked really, really well. Actually, Ducato was one of my players in this adventure, and we all had a blast. So I'm really looking forward to giving this its second go and see how well it works or not. It might have just been I had great players there, but I fully anticipate another great experience. And then Sunday, I'm going to wrap things up with a game demo. So I'm sitting as a player in a game demo, and this is a board game, High Seas. So it is a pirate themed game. So I'm going to really enjoy that. And then finally, marketing your tabletop RPG product. And this is going to be Mike Shea, Kelsey Dion, and Hankarin Farinali, along with Stephen Glicker. So a lot of, fairly well-known YouTubers and game creators and such. So I'm going to certainly sit in on that seminar, and then I'm leaving. So I am going to wrap it up at that point. But anyway, so I'm really, really looking forward to that first convention of the year, and it should be a lot of fun. So that's something that's coming up. Wow, my whole screen just took a new view. So that's interesting. Let's see, who else do we have here? Elliot Vernon. Welcome, Elliot. How's it going? So again, both 2024 and now the way that 2025 is looking to be, it's really going to be an awesome time for me, both personally, for the channel. I believe that the channel will continue to grow. I always ask, for people to come in there in the chats and tell me, hey, check this thing out. This is a Kickstarter that I think you should take a look at, or I've written a Kickstarter. Would you like to take a look at it? Kind of thing. And I will certainly love to allow you to guide me in what content my channel is going to cover, because that's really been a big thing. I like taking requests. I try to respond to your requests as quickly as I can, and I think that that is something that at least I think my channel kind of stands out for that, as far as giving you a larger variety of both OSR and independent games. Um, will I eventually start covering things like Pathfinder First Edition? I don't have Second Edition. I do have First Edition. I might spend a little time with them, but we'll see. We'll see where it really drives me to. I'm much more of an old school and independent uh, game follower. Although some new stuff out there, I certainly follow, like Crown and Skull, or Index Card RPG, or Shadow Dark, obviously, and whatnot. So there's and Blade Runner and Fallout. Those are all independent games that are not necessarily uh, quote unquote OSR connected, or D&D derivatives and such. So like to cover as much as I possibly can. So I ran some Barrel Maze this summer and enjoyed it. We didn't get too far into it. It is currently playing a game using Avanax Mega Dungeon, and we are using Dragonbane for a rule set. Yeah, I'm going to have to get around to buying the starter box set for Dragonbane. If not, just go all in and pick up the books as well. I'm going to be looking to see in the convention space if I actually see it being run, because that's starting to become one of my criterion for what I'm going to purchase and pick up. Um, as I said, I have a new bookshelf, and I'm kind of running out of space on the second bookshelf at this point too, and there's no way I'm getting a third. So I'm going to have to become much more selective in what I do have on there, without having to take things off of my shelf and tuck them back in the closet again, which I really wouldn't like to do. But I would like to run, or at least play everything that I do have on my shelf at some point. Um, yeah, I know the starter box is a great deal, and I just have to get around to picking that up at least. And I do have somewhat of a starter box collection of things. I do like starter boxes for the most part, and so yeah. But no, it's not a bigger home. That's the issue. My home is plenty big enough. It's and I have spare rooms on top of that. It's just getting to dedicate that kind of space to this, and uh, my lovely wife of 25 years, or very soon to be 25 years, is not a gamer. So it's kind of hard to get more and more space dedicated to gaming, um, than than what I have right now. Maybe someday we'll, once we become empty nesters, then there might be a different opportunity there. I actually don't have another room that can take um, like three bookshelves across in any one section. Most of my rooms have windows and things like that, windows and closets and other space. This is actually the this is actually the expanded nook that is over the garage. The two car garage. If I had a three-car garage, then I would have certainly had that space. But yeah, so this is just off the master bedroom, and so it's my space. Hey, Longshot, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'm getting more selective on what I buy these days too. Yeah, I mean, I eventually got to, and I know that I've passed up a few game systems that are widely popular, because I just asked myself that question of how many basic D&D retro clones do I actually need? I did that with Dragon Slayer. Was like, well, I have the Holmes edition and I have AD&D First Edition. So why do I need someone else's homebrew? In order to experience that. I can homebrew it myself if I wanted to. Um, but it's a widely popular edition out there. I did the same thing with Old School Essentials. I just have it in PDF. I didn't buy the books because number one, they were expensive, and number two, again, I came to how many retro clones of I believe that one's more AD&D. How many retro clones of AD&D do I have? I have already Osric. I really don't need anything, and that all comes in one book. I really don't need anything else. Um, if I wanted to do that, and I really enjoy just running from my original books. It was a much more, I think, much more better experience to run it from the originals than to run AD&D First Edition from any of its retro clones. So, again, it's a choice. It's something that that you have certain things that prevent you from doing stuff that you'd prefer. And money is one of them. Space is probably the second one. And then just the overall sense of how many of these do I need. Um, I saw people on Twitter complaining about the price of Dragon Slayer. Yeah, I mean, people are like, I see people complain about the price of Shadow Dark, right? And they'll say, "Oh, that book is $60," but that book is $60, and you only need one book, so you're not spending $180 to get to one book. Now I forget how much Dragon Slayer was combined up, but Crown and Skull, I got the $80 version rather than the $60 version because the book just looked so sweet. And I was like, all right, you know what? But the whole game system is combined in one book. So I don't have to spend $180 on three $60 books in order to have a fully functioning game system. And then, of course, I like games that game systems complete all in one, that are packaged in one $10 book, like Basic Fantasy. You can get away with one book for Basic Fantasy and it costs you about $10. That's a outlier. That's a rare thing out there. But you can certainly get fully contained books in in a soft cover too. That's another thing that I really do prefer is soft covers because they take less shelf space and they're a lot easier to replace if you're actually using them and playing from them. Um, so Dragon Slayer is one of your favorite. Yeah, I know you've been running that too. I will probably like if I go to a convention and I meet Greg Gillespie there, and I will probably end up buying it, just as a thing. Like, hey, I met, especially if I play in one of his, like if he's running a game, and I actually sit there and play it with him, then I'll definitely buy one. But if we don't cross paths, I just don't. I'm just not. I'm just not seeing the requirement of my shelf space to have another book that is very very similar to what I already run. Yeah. So maybe I'll get around to it. I'm just not sure. It was a price compared to buying the originals. It was the price compared to buying the originals. Um, yeah, but you know what? How much was Dragon Slayer when it first came out? Was it 80 or was it more than that? Um, because you can get Holmes Edition, just the book, for about $20. You can get the three AD&D First Edition books for, yeah, you could probably get them for between 60. Well, I mean, sometimes you can get them for less, like 40 to, let's say 40 to 80. somewhere in there. So about $60 on average, you can get those three books, and get those three core books for about that. Um, but prices do go up, sometimes, especially on some of the older stuff. I'm glad that you think it was 80. So 80 is not terrible, especially for a full thing. But I thought it was more at the time, or I just wasn't convinced I needed it, to be honest with you, because like I said, I kept on looking back at it and saying, $52 for PDF and print on demand on drive through. So it's 52 for both PDF and so that's not terrible. Um, yeah, if it's 52, um, in a couple weeks I could actually do that. I got to get I got to get past the convention. Now I need to have enough to go to a few places, before the convention. I want to stop by Runehammer's brick and mortar store and pick up something there, and then and I'll probably end up buying something at Page Two in the auction area or something along those lines as well. So I'm looking to go there with a budget of about $600 to $800. So looking to have that, and then if I have anything left over, then I'll certainly look into getting some other stuff. Yeah, I like having the white box and the basic, um, and basic fantasy. I only bought PDFs of the OSC Advanced because they were on sale. Um, it's been hard to invest into another D&D clone. Yeah, and that's exactly where I was at the time too. I was like, and OSC was a lot more expensive when it was first in its Kickstarter. It was like 130 or even maybe 140 at the time. It was just bad timing for me. It was like at the end of the summer, and I was like, you know what, it's just not happening at that time. So sometimes Kickstarters are poorly timed as well, at least from my own situation. And so that's another thing that kind of keeps me away from them, is the fact that they're poorly timed. Um, Again, not because they poorly timed it, but just for me, it was poorly timed. Suckered in by the art. Yeah. There are very, very few games that I've ever had remorse for. Really, only one that I can really think of, and that's because number one, it took forever to come out, like 5 years for it to come out, and two, even though it wasn't very expensive, but when I finally got it, I wasn't impressed at all with it. Um, and that's something that when I do get to it on my shelf, I'm going to point it out, and I'll be like, this game here is just, it was just such a waste. It took too damn long to get it, and it's nothing special about it whatsoever. Um, it was just a total waste of time. So it was the only time that I spent any money on something that I truly was like, oh, that was not a good investment at all. And then my first like copy of the Blackmore supplement from my from my white box there. I never flipped through it after I had gotten it. I just got it and I was like, all right, this is cool. I mean, I might have done like a real quick like flip through, but I never actually went through it page by page. And the whole Temple of the Frog section was missing from it. So I ended up having to spend another 60 or $80 on getting the real full one. But that was another thing. I was like, crap. And it was so long in between, that it really changed my way of, now when I get something, I go page by page through it, and then I will send back a, message, hey, you know what, this is not cool. This is not what, but that one I had gone weeks, if not even a couple of months, beyond actually receiving it before I realized that it was missing, a good portion of it. in the middle. The person must have pulled out the adventure module from it and left it. I don't know why they would have done that, but yeah, it was something I certainly went back and said, hey, don't buy from this person. It was a bad bad interaction. So let's see what else. Um, so yeah, my convention calendar for next year is full. I have to pick up a couple of badges along the way so that they actually get listed correctly there. I know I'm entitled to a free badge, at least at two of them, because I'm running 12 or more hours of adventures there, and then I'll be all set. Then it'll just be a time of planning for those conventions. I already have the adventures for all of them already set up, so that's one thing I don't have to really fret over, is getting those adventures ready to roll. Um, but it'll be the following year. So once I hit of September of 2025, that will be my last convention for the year 2025. Then I'm going to have to start working on getting all new adventures running for page 3 in January again. So that's where I'll start. I won't be running anybody else's adventures. I'll be running my own, and I'll probably add some new game systems in there as well. So that's when I'll be looking to run perhaps Axe, um, probably Amazing Adventures. That's almost for certain. Amazing Adventures, and maybe I will run a Castles and Crusades, which I've never run at a convention. So that might actually be interesting, and I'll write my own adventure for all three of them. So that's what I'll be looking at. I'm already projecting to 2026. So yeah, next year, um, 2025 will be the last time that I run some adventures that I've been running for the last couple of years, and then I will move on to all new stuff. So should be a really good time. 2025, I'm super stoked for. It's going to be a lot of fun. Um, so let's see. CNC is the one I want to play, but I never get a game that lines up with my availability. You know what? Just shoot me if you're on my Discord, just shoot me when your availability is, because my availability is pretty darn open. And if you want to jump in on something, or if you want me to put something together for you, I'm looking to do. Um, I'm looking to do on my Discord, setting up on my Discord, some GM plus uh, one shots or mini campaigns to give as many people on my Discord an opportunity to play a bunch of different types of games that don't require much more than an hour or two at the most during those time slots. And my time slots are very flexible, especially in the mornings. I'm almost always free in the mornings, Monday through Sunday, no problem in the mornings. Um, and I can do certainly short sessions like that. So O'Neill, just jump on my Discord channel. I'll put my Discord link in here so that everyone can jump in on there as well. I know the last time I did a live stream and I put out the Discord, I got quite a few people join in. So you can jump in, and let me get to it. And let me invite people, and let's edit the link. Let's do a never, so make it a permanent link. All right. I will be right with you. I want to close this because I don't want it to be chiming in my ear. All right. So here is my Discord channel. And any of you can join in my Discord channel. And just when you jump in there, just put in, from stream, and I'll know how you found the Discord, and I'll give you a player role, and you can jump in. And then O'Neill, once you're in there, if you're not already in there, um, you can just tell me what your schedule is, your availability, and I'll run something for you. CNC is something like I could start putting something together like that. And tell me the campaign style that you like to play as well. Do you want, a hex crawl kind of thing? Which CNC do you want? Do you want the CNC white box? I can do that easily, or if you just want to use the core books, that's fine too. Um, but yeah, definitely let me know um, what you'd like, and I can definitely do that. And that goes for anyone else here. So you can jump in on the Discord channel, and you can. There's a whole thread on GM plus ones, and you can log into there and say, hey, you know what? Can you run, this or that, or whatever. I I have a lot, obviously, and and I'm certainly open to things. I prefer not to do longer campaigns with multiple players on things that I'm already doing right now. So I'm not going to do like a 5-player Castles and Crusades. I'm currently in a 45 weeks into a campaign already. I'm also playing in a Castles and Crusades game. So, but if you want something like, I know one person said I would love to play Conan 2D20. I can definitely throw those together, no problem. I already have adventures written for that anyway, so I can certainly do that. And I even have those that are written specifically for a GM plus one kind of situation. Uh, yeah, so O'Neill, just definitely jump in on that thread and just say, "Hey, I'm looking to, I'm looking to do that," and just tell me when you're available, and we'll get something going. Hey, James, how's it going? Happy holidays to you as well. The holidays have been treating me, fairly well. My Christmas was great. I'm actually recovering from an illness or whatever that I picked up this past Sunday, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what the heck. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow to see, but it's not anything serious. I'm pretty sure it's just a gastrointestinal issue. so um, probably something related to some of my new medications and everything with my diabetic medications and some of the other stuff that I'm doing. Um, I have lost quite a bit of weight with it, but makes it kind of hard to deal with stuff. I know my face has gotten smaller, and I've dropped about 2 sizes. I've lost about 22 pounds, but it still uh, runs runs havoc on my stomach, I guess, at this point. So I got to take a look at it. But anyway, let's see. So other things going on, both with me and the channel and my gaming in general. Um, as far as the channel is concerned, I've still been, really trying to keep it focused on gaming, and I don't delve into too much drama. There's always drama out there, and I try to avoid the drama as much as possible, especially on my channel. Um, you know, uh, I just think it's a better way to go. Now I have done one or two videos of basically saying. Um, let's just try to keep politics out of gaming. And I know some people will say, "Oh, that's a political statement to begin with," and yeah, so be it. It's like I really do like Troll Lord Games' philosophy of we just want to create great games, and that's all they're really interested in. And yeah, I just want to run great game sessions, and that's all I'm really interested in doing. And everyone is welcome at my table. And as long as when you come to the table, you're there to play, and you're going to get along with everybody and whatnot. Otherwise, I don't care, you know, anything about your background, your philosophy or your politics or any of that stuff. I only care that you're there to have fun. You're there to get along with everybody and to be, generally, not a jerk, let's say, and we just pass the time, past 3, 4 hours of time, especially I was specifically talking about bringing politics into convention spaces, which I think is, if you're going to bring politics into a convention space, to me, that's completely absurd because everyone at that convention, including the people running it, have had expenses running into the hundreds, if not more, $1,000+ just to be there. And the last thing anybody wants is to have an interaction that has nothing to do with gaming get in the way of your enjoyment of gaming. And so, when I see things like that, I'm like, that's just not what I look to do. And so that's something on my channel that I've really tried to stick to. And you know even as far as negative videos directed at, let's say, Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast and some of the direction that they're going in, occasionally I'll put those out there, and they're very, very popular. They get a lot of views and everything like that. And even with that being understood, I don't care about those views. The views that the videos are getting. I'm certainly not going to make this a channel like that, where I'm just building a channel off of controversy. I want to build a channel off of things that I enjoy reading and games that I enjoy running and talking and chatting with people that I enjoy chatting with. And so I think that I'd rather have a much more positive channel and one that is much more diverse in the game systems that I'm covering, um, and avoiding some of those things that are, kind of a pitfall, I think, for dragging you into that kind of a thing. So you know, uh, do I cover 5e? I don't own anything 5e any longer. So I really can't cover 5e, and I have no intention of doing so. I think that it's, oh, no, I should correct that. I do have uh, the D&D Essentials box set, which I think is probably the most useful thing that they've ever produced. So that's a really good box set. But other than that, I have the Stranger Things box set, which is absolute trash, and then I have the original box set, which I could see myself giving that away at some point because it doesn't occupy shelf space on my shelf back here anyway. It's tucked in the closet, so that has been relegated to the closet, along with my fourth edition core books are in the closet as well. Someday I will probably just transfer those over to some like charity auction or something at a local convention, probably ShireCon. I'll probably bring the things I don't want in my collection anymore over to ShireCon and give those away there as either a charity auction or whatever. Just put them out there as for sale and just clear them out. Let's see. The internet is made for arguing. Oh yeah, trust me, I argue plenty. All right, on the internet, but I don't need to do it on my gaming channel. I try to separate the two. But yeah, I could be a real troll. I understand that. Um, I can't stand people trying to force a real world issues and politics into escapist hobbies. What do you think I'm trying to escape? Yeah, it's exactly that. It's like, and I don't even care if I agree with your politics. Um, I really don't want it in my space. I mean, you're in my gaming group. You're in you're in the Discord with us and everything like that. We really don't talk about that kind of stuff in our chat group. I mean, we're usually together about 15 minutes before the game starts as well. And even during that time, we don't bring up that kind of stuff. I mean, maybe around election day. Well, no, election day was Tuesday night. Um, I don't even remember if we ran that Tuesday night. I don't think we did. I don't think we ran or had it playing in the background while we were running, but we kept it really tight and everything. Um, yeah, I think we did run, but I had it in the background and nothing happened that Tuesday night anyway. You don't find out until the wee hours of the morning on Wednesday how it turns out. So I have the PDF of Memorial Tomb, um, and I will start taking a look at it and check it out and everything. But have you also picked up from? I haven't picked up that from. I have the PDF from it. As a matter of fact, I think that was one of the other review copies, a PDF that I received from Griffith. So from yeah, and he just recently sent me another thing. So so that's one of the review copies that I received. Um, I That's another mega dungeon. So first, I'm going to run through um, Castle Zajic, which I'm going to purchase when that comes out completely. So that certainly will be something that I do, and then I have like 4 or 5 other books coming from, maybe even more, coming from. Now I think it's like about 12 more hardcovers coming from True Lord Games. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to really start trimming down how much stuff I'm getting. Um, so I still have Gary Gygax's world building books. I think there's 7 of them, and I got 6 of them. I'm going to skip one because the author of that book is an absolute asshole towards me. So I'm not going to get that. And then I have the 3 books of the Armory. So that's what 6. That's 9. I have the Manual of the Plains, which was both the 2 books for that. So that's 9. That's 11, and then the Hermit, which is 12. Um, and then if they do re-release, which I know that they are, the Castle Zajic, I believe that's another 3 hardcovers that are coming out, 3 to 5 or something like that. Um, yeah, it's going to be a lot. So I'm not quite sure I'm going to end up getting Memorial Tomb. Yeah, no, there's a lot in that too. It's a huge box set. It's a lot of stuff. So yeah, there's no doubt about that. That was hugely expensive too, I think, at the time. Um, so it was a lot of money. And you know, even though Troll Lord Games does a veterans discount, 50% veterans discount, I really do try to limit how often I use that, and so that's something that if I can afford to get it in one shot, then fine. But I don't like to reuse that over and over again. Yeah, I'm waiting. The Hermit should be coming out really soon. Like you should be getting your copies very, very soon. They just made an announcement on that. I'm waiting for that for my Tuesday night game. So that will come in. We might do another little brief thing. They have to go raid a hobgoblin encampment unless they want to go right into the way I'm going to convert the Hermit to their campaign, and then we can go right into the Hermit. Once they finally get to Castle Zajic, the way that works as a mega dungeon is that the first several levels are meant first level, second level, third level characters and such as you're going through, and it becomes more and more complex as you go, more and more difficult as you go. And since they're already fifth or fifth and or sixth level, the hermit is actually well designed for them. And then the adventure that Griffith just sent me is another um, game game adventure written by oh shoot, I'm drawing a total blank. I'll get back to you on that. Um, uh, how am I forgetting his name? Anyway, uh, when it comes to me, I'll say it. It's just so stupid that I can't think of it right now. Getting old. So once I get that, I'll probably run them through that as well. That's for levels 5 through 7. So that's something that I definitely want to get out there, for them to run through. Um, and then there's stuff like I'm waiting for my hardcovers of Adventures Dark and Deep to arrive. So once again, that's like another AD&D first edition slash, um, clone. Like if Gary Gygax was still with TSR and they were going to do a modified version or a revised edition of AD&D first edition, that would be Adventures Dark and Deep. So I'm waiting for that to arrive as well. So I'm certainly looking to run that. So let's see. So another gift membership from Here Trumpet has been struck by lightning. Thank you very much for that. And Davis, you are getting that as well. So did I miss one? I thought you did one earlier too. I think I got them all. But thank you so much for those. And let's see. You're interested in Adventures Dark and Deep. Yeah, I can definitely see running that. That has some like pretty unique stuff in there. Um, like Joseph Block has a jester class, which is really interesting. There's a whole adventure, um, um, like a what is it called? Bartle Bark's circus, which is like a kind of like a crazy circus kind of thing. A really dangerous adventure if you wanted to do. It's like kind of along the lines of Through the Looking Glass adventures that Gary Gygax wrote back in the 80s for AT&T First Edition, and it's kind of along those lines too. It could be really really brutal, and I ran my group through that as well, and they had a great time with it. Yes, they are beefy books. Yeah, these are much larger books than the previous. Um, and you're waiting for the print on demand. Yeah, yeah. So I'm waiting for those. Yeah, Mac Thompson got a membership as well. So congratulations, Mac. So, and let's see, we have. Um, so getting back to well, let's put the Discord. So I'm gonna. There is my Discord. So if anyone wants to join the Discord and you haven't already, please feel free to jump in on that Discord and just put in your greetings post that you came in from this live stream. I will give you a tag for player, and that will open up many doors for you to check things out, and you'll see from there, um, how much stuff is out there for you to jump in on. So yes, Trillord Games has been very prolific this year. I have several on their order as well. Yeah, they have a ton of stuff, and they actually got so much new stuff when the Gygax estate actually opened up their ability to reprint, their republish some of their works, that they were able to they kind of put aside some of their own stuff in order to churn out these Gary Gygax estate properties. And I'm hoping that they will come back with some more stuff later on that might have been never published before, because I'm sure there's probably a lot of other things that have never been released before that is still part of that estate, and so that will be really cool too. I'm hoping that eventually they can get some of Gary Gygax's books, his novels, like the Gord series, republished. I don't know if they're tied to TSR. Sorry, um, and so part of what Hasbro owns, or or whatnot. But it would be nice to see those in reprint, and and then um, we could see different things like maybe adventure modules or whatnot built around them. Um, I know that recently. Sorry about the crumbling sound here. I know that I recently saw a post about Frank Mentzner possibly suing Hasbro for Redbox and trying to get Redbox extricated from them, as part of uh, libel a libel suit over the disclaimer and such. And that would be awesome if he actually managed to extricate Redbox from them, because then that would open up so many doors for Redbox for true reprinting and whatnot. That would be awesome. So that's something that would be cool to see. And then he could imagine if he brought that over to Troll Lord Games and let them, reproduce those and do that along the way. It would be awesome. Um, yeah, like I said, I don't know if they're gonna actually like his novels, or but if they are, that's gonna be awesome. I will definitely get updated versions of those, or even better if they run into they do audiobooks of those, which will be definitely up my alley, because I've been doing a lot more audiobooks than anything else. So, um, so let's start going into wrap up mode here, because we're coming up on an hour and a half, and my family is probably getting ready to come on upstairs, and then it's going to be chaos up here. Probably already hear my girls yelling downstairs. So again, I mean, this has been a great year for the channel. Um, Even more so with all of the people that that grace grace my channel with your comments and your suggestions, and you're always coming in here, and well wishes and whatnot. And it's always the same crowd, or new faces thrown in every once in a while. And I really do appreciate everyone's support over these. In some cases, you've been here from the very beginning, or at least from the past 7 years, for sure. Like I said, I only had 36 subscribers that first year, um, but it has been growing, every single year since then. And now it's starting to approach new milestones. And I think the way that the algorithms work with YouTube, um, it once you hit those milestones, it really does start spreading the stuff out there. So I really do appreciate everyone coming in and leaving your comments, and your continued support. Really looking forward to 2025. I think it's going to be a big year, not just for myself or the channel, but I think for the hobby. I think the hobby is really going to start to pick up its stride in 2025. And we're going to start seeing some game systems out there that really do stand out in 2025 as you know as Wizards of the Coast takes D&D 5e to the digital realm. When you go to convention spaces, people aren't busting out their laptops to run a VTT there. It's like so it's going to become a space that's more and more dedicated to the to those of us that are running and running games and at a table with people. And hey, Paul, how's it going? Oh my gosh, Paul, you gifted 5 memberships. I really appreciate that. And so let's see who got memberships. So Doodle Squatch, you received one from Paul. Thank you, Paul. Um, S Panther, God of Moxie, love that name. um, Kirk Fort and Charles. So congratulations, all of you. Thank you, Paul, once again, and and again, all of you are encouraged to come to the come to the section. Paul, since you did that, make sure that you also, when you go onto my Discord, that you just let me know, and I will give you the membership role as well. That will open up you to a whole bunch of other perks, as first dibs on my games that I'm running, especially my one shots and things like that. So yeah, make sure that you certainly do that for yourself as well. That way, I can thank you properly for that. And remember, whether it's here or on Discord, put in there if you're going to any of those any of those conventions. So if you're going to Philadelphia Area Game Expo in January, in about 17 days or 18 days, let me know so that I can hopefully meet you. We'll have a beer. We'll sit down and chat about gaming. Maybe we'll do some gaming together. We'll see during any of the gaps that I have in my schedule. And I'm really looking forward to that first convention. And then if you're going to any of the other conventions later on in the year, make sure that you come back here on the channel and let me know, hey, I'm going to Rising Phoenix. I know a lot of people go to Total Con. I haven't been at a Total Con in a while. Like the last time I went to Total Con, it was virtual, right? So it was during the pandemic. So I know a lot of people go to Total Con. It just happens at the same time or roughly the same time as Rising Phoenix, and so. But I think if enough people ask me, hey, can you go to Total Con instead of Rising Phoenix, then I might actually consider doing that at least once, and then I'll go back to Rising Phoenix again if I'm going to meet more people from the channel or just from elsewhere. So, and thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Going to work on a table presentation this year during my games at LG's. Thank you for the tip. Yeah, that was something that I really started thinking about that when I was going to conventions and everything, and I noticed certain games, and that's why I really like box sets. Box sets, I think, are really designed for you to put all that stuff on display, and it attracts eyes to your table, and it really is a great advertisement for it. For not just the game that you're running, but it also when you see what someone's doing at their table, and you see how much effort they put into it, it's an advertisement for you as a game master. Now, I'm never going to match like Takado's display on his thing because he's like a just a next level painter of miniatures and scenery and that kind of stuff. That is not me. I am incapable of doing that. My greatest accomplishment of painting is this guy. All right, and I'm so happy that I actually got the actual fletching. The feathers are blue, and the bands on the thing, like, this is my greatest painting accomplishment. And that's a Reaper miniature, and that's the best that I'm capable of doing. So I mean, he does really phenomenal work. But as far as the table display, yeah, box sets do a really good job of giving you some really nice stuff to put out there. So I'm glad that you found the tip to be useful. And yeah, definitely share some of those pictures. Now, you can't share it on YouTube, but you can share your pictures um, on Discord. So go to my Discord channel and definitely post them there. I'd love to take a look at what you're actually working on, and what it's going to look like when you run. And thank you very much, Off Grid, for that as well. And yeah, we will be back to gaming next week. So looking forward to that, and getting back to the grind of working and running my games during the week. I returned to work actually this Thursday and Friday, and that's why we're not doing our Fallout this week. But next week, so the 7th, I believe that is. Let me double check that. No, the 9th. So we will be back to Fallout the 9th. I'm taking the core book and the starter set to the show to show Pendragon off. Yeah. Um, Yeah, that's another one of those games that I didn't pick up because of the same issues. Just can't get everything I'd love to get. I did pick up one of the big box sets. I did pick up was RuneScape, and I haven't even touched it since I picked it up. So anyway, so everyone, have a happy new year. And I will be seeing you. I will do another video, probably not tomorrow, but maybe, and probably, well, maybe New Year's Day. New Year's Day, I'll probably be back on New Year's Day, because that's usually not the holiday anyway. Everybody celebrates New Year's Eve. But yes, I will do a video. I'll be back on New Year's Day, and I'll probably do a live stream sometime early this midweek or so. All right, you'll have a great one. Thank you, everyone, for popping in. Thanks, the two of you, for all of those memberships, those gifted memberships. That's really, really encouraging, and much appreciated. For those of you coming in, thanks for popping on in. So, Mike, hey, how's it going? Happy New Year to you as well. Tullowit and Dave and Cal and all the others. Thanks for coming on in. And here's looking forward to 2025. Hopefully another great year in gaming. You all have a good one. Take care.